Hey, this is Emily at Inflatable Kayaks, and this glorious piece of watercraft here is the ORU Bay ST. It's a folding kayak made out of core flute, paddles like an absolute dream. It is a gun in the water. In terms of the pleasure of the paddling experience, wow. Not for everybody though, and I'm going to go through what makes it different from a lot of the inflatable kayaks we sell and help you to understand whether this is going to be the right kayak for you. So, what makes it go so fast and so straight? What makes it so glorious to paddle? You've got essentially a sea kayak, basically, that folds up into a bag. So it's 3.7 meters long, but it's only 64 centimeters wide. So you've got this kayak that they've managed to create incredible rigidity with, but without the bulky kind of side tube. So inflatable kayaks almost always have some sort of inflation down the side, which makes them wider. Okay, so they've kept it narrow, but they've maintained rigidity with this core flute structure. Now, what they've also done is thought long and hard about the shape of this kayak. You'll notice that there's no fin or no fin box on this kayak. And so they've got the tracking sorted out through the bow and the stern shaping. And you can see it in the waterline here. See how it's cutting through the water and that bow and stern are going down into the water. So the kayak paddles beautifully, even though there's no fin. Like it's really, they've done a really good job of the shape of the design. And because it's so narrow, you can get beautiful vertical kind of paddling technique, really engage the whole body, just glide along. I can't emphasize how lovely it is. Not only that, you can put a spray skirt on, right? They sell a spray skirt on. So you really have this open water sea kayak that weighs 11.8 kilograms. I am not kidding you. It is really very lightweight and packs up. I was going to say packs up into a bag because that's what I normally say. Packs up into itself. The dimensions are 84 across, 74 down, and 36, I guess, is from the widest point to the widest point. Bear in mind that you can pack this a little flatter if you've got a place to sort of stow it in, because what you actually do is you put the seat and the bits and the bobs inside that area. So if you need to flatten it down a bit, you can. And that's the whole kayak. Like the only bits you don't paddle with are these straps here, which are just to help you carry, and like the instruction manual, that kind of thing. It's a very compact design. Now, in terms of durability, they did some hilarious marketing on this where they smashed the core flute with a hammer and then they threw it off a building just to kind of prove to people that it's really very, very tough. Now, like any kind of product, if you're going across something really sharp with a huge amount of force, you may do some damage to the core flute, but like given how much they're hammering it here, it's going to take a hell of an effort. I took this on personally with my Bay. I've got a Bay ST myself, and I was on a holiday with it. I've been on a couple of holidays with it where there's been either a rocky access to the water or a rocky grassy hill a very steep one that I had to get down. I didn't really want to carry the kayak, so I've just chucked it and pushed it down. And mine's done really well. There are some cosmetic scratches on that bottom layer, like there are with most of our inflatable kayaks if you do that sort of thing. We get a lot of cosmetic scratches, but nothing's going through. Like, look at what this guy's doing here, going off the rocks. So really tough. Haven't had any customer issues either, so I'm happy to report that. In terms of assembly, you can see here, you literally unfold it and then start clipping things together. I'm not going to go through the whole process. They have put together a very comprehensive video, so I would definitely, it's on the website, it's on our website, so have a good look through the video before you buy it. Make sure you're comfortable with the steps. There is one part, that's actually right there, I just skipped over it, that I find physically a little challenging. The whole process is like I did this in 10 minutes. It was only the second time I'd set it up, and I was taking my sweet time. This bit here, he makes that look really easy. He just pulls it over. But the first time you set this up, the kayak's very stiff, and it's really quite a lot of force to get this one set up. So you need to have a reasonable amount of strength and agility to set it up. I say reasonable. You don't need to be Superman or anything like that. It's not as easy physically, I would say, as inflating an inflatable kayak with an electric pump. But 10 minutes is pretty good. 10 minutes at a leisurely pace, pretty good. In terms of the pack away, it's just the reverse of the setup. It's actually very quick and easy. The thing I love is what I'm doing now, or what I was doing just then, which is the wipe down. Right? There's very little fabric. You got a bit of neoprene here, a bit of neoprene here, and the seats have some sort of fabric over the top. So if your seat's wet, you'd let it dry. But there's really no reason you get water in this kayak, right? It's waterproof. I don't get water in it. Maybe some drips from my paddle over the cockpit. But it's pretty straightforward. Now, this is the impressive bit. Watch this fold up. Oh, you got to take that middle bit out. Yep. See? Look at it. It's just genius design. And then they have you some sort of colored points that show you how to strap it in, and away you go. So really quite good. I love the seat. So the seat for me, the seat doesn't move back and forth, but the foot brace does, and I'll show you that. But the seat the support is at just the right spot in my back. And these straps here, so you can't move it back and forth, but the straps allow you to really tug the support in on your back. I love it. I love the seat. I can sit in this kayak for hours. The base is okay. It's better than nothing. It's not super thick, better than nothing, but you can always add a cushion if you need a bit more. The foot bar is genius. So like you get foot bars on a lot of kayaks, like clip-on sort of foot bars, and you get them inflatables a lot too. The thing that I love about this design is the elastic. So the elastic is keeping that foot bar up, so it's not dropped down at your heels, if that makes sense. And then you can't see it here, but there's these straps that run right up to here for the foot brace that you can tighten or loosen to get the right pressure. So or the right length, I should say. So although the seat doesn't move, the foot brace makes it happen. Now, just a heads up, this kayak is not an inflatable, right? It's a folding kayak. And so like hard shell sea kayaks with cockpits, if it's filled with water, it's going to sink. That's the beauty of inflatables. You don't have to worry about that. So to make up for this, I guess you would say they sell float bags that go in the bow and stern, just like people use with hard shell sea kayaks. So just a heads up, if you're going out open ocean, or even you just want the peace of mind, make sure you get yourself the float bags. In terms of who it's not suitable for, I mentioned there's a little bit of strength and agility required to set this kayak up. Its capacity is quite good, 136 capacity, and the height limit is quite good, 6'3". However, you want to consider that it's not that wide, like 64 centimeters edge to edge, and it's not like an inflatable where you have a soft side. You've got an inflation chamber that's got some give in it. If you have a very wide bottom or hips, or you've got a wide kind of pelvis shape, and a bit of extra on the sides, you may find this uncomfortable because you may be pushing up against some hard edges here. And in terms of the 6'3", it's not really about the leg length. Like this will go very long inside. It's about the cockpit. So this cockpit is fixed. You can't just unzip this to tuck yourself in, right? So a lot of our inflatables have a zipper down the deck, and the beauty of that is it's easy to get in and out of, right? You can't do that. So I would think not so much about height. I would think about how good would I be at tucking my legs in, because this is a narrow kayak, like 64 centimeters. That's not that wide. So there's less stability than in the inflatables. Like a lot of the inflatables we sell, you could just flop yourself in and you'd be fine. They're very, very stable. This one, you need to be a little more careful with your getting in and out. And it's a little more awkward because there's a cockpit. And so we're back to that kind of strength and agility approach. So yeah, it's probably less about height and more about your mobility or your flexibility to tuck it, or leg length even, to tuck yourself in. In terms of the stability, yes, it is less stable than the inflatables, but on the water, it's not that bad. This is my daughter, I think she was like 8 or 9 at the time, and she was able to paddle it. So I certainly wouldn't take a small child, like a 1, 2, 3-year-old who's going to look over the edge. No. I would not do that. I probably wouldn't take a dog unless it was a very small one that was just going to kind of sit still. And I'd think twice about fishing. I have seen people with like adhesive fishing rod holder mounts on this kayak, and I thought, that's pretty keen. For me, what is required to reel in a big fish, I wouldn't be doing that in this kayak. There are better choices. In terms of skill level required, I would hesitate to recommend it to an absolute beginner unless you had that reasonable skill and agility that we talked about for getting in and out and setting up. And if you were struggling, you were going to take some lessons maybe, or at least a lesson. I don't find it unstable at all, but I have been kayaking for many, many years. So All in all, fantastic kayak, extremely versatile, being, you know, an open ocean expedition sort of kayak, but also something that you can set up in 10 minutes and have just a quick, beautiful paddle around the lake in. Love it because it packs up into itself and it weighs 11.8 kilograms, like unbelievably lightweight for this kind of quality of kayak. It's not for everybody though, like we talked about, bit of strength and agility required, bit of skill required. Can't do a few things, dogs, fishing, small kids, that kind of thing. If you have any questions, though, about the Oru Bay ST kayak from Oru Kayaks, please get in touch. This is Emily at Oz Inflatable Kayaks.